What's up, Commanders fans? A lot of people have been trying to figure out what we were going to do with Jamin Davis, seeing as though we didn't pick up his fifth-year option. And of course, that was expected coming in, seeing as though we have a new regime. We got all new coaches, and they have no ties to this guy. And on paper, it doesn't look that well, seeing that he's been here for 3 years and hasn't really done what we expect. And Dan Quinn has been known to develop talent and really get guys who you think can't do much and really do a lot with them. So I wouldn't be surprised if we got rid of Jamin Davis. But I feel like with this new system coming in, I think he has a lot that he can look forward to, seeing that his locker is right beside Bobby Wagner. And within the little bit of time that they had together, he's asked him many questions and he's picked his brain on everything that he possibly can. And he wants to know more. And the oldest person that was in the locker room before Bobby Wagner was a guy like David Mayo. And it wasn't too much he could teach you. He couldn't teach you how to be a Pro Bowl player back to back. You got to go to a guy like Bobby Wagner. And the good thing is Bobby Wagner came here to us. And that was because of Dan Quinn. And he trusted and believed in Dan Quinn. And he's played with Dan Quinn before, when Dan Quinn was the defensive coach for the Seattle Seahawks. And this was back in a time when Bobby Wagner was surrounded by good players, and they were called the Legion of Boom. And they were able to make it to back-to-back Super Bowls. Of course, they didn't win them, but they had a chance to. This is a great chance for Jamin Davis to really get that A1 knowledge that you need. And seeing as though Bobby Wagner has come here to be a voice in the locker room. And he's come here to make us better, not only on defense, but offense. So with him taking charge and being that quarterback on defense, it's really going to allow our offensive players to play better. Not just the coaches, not just Joe Witt Jr., not just Dan Quinn, but Bobby Wagner. And then you're going up against elite players. And that is something that also Jaden Daniels is going to benefit from, because he's going to be able to learn from him in practice every day. And so will Jamin Davis. And of course, outside of the facility, Jamin Davis, I'm sure he has Bobby Wagner's number. I'm sure he can meet up with him if he need to. I'm sure they practice together. If not now, they're going to watch film together on a day-to-day basis. And it's going to be something that they have to get familiar with. They got to build chemistry. So Jamin Davis is just taking this opportunity to take advantage of where he can be and where he wants to be. So I'm proud of Jamin Davis. This could be a make or break year for him. This could be a year that makes him stand out and really show us that we should keep him and that he deserves to be that number one draft pick that he was when we first got him. So right now, this is everything for him. And he needs to continue to pick his brain and also pick Frankie Louvu's brain, because he has a whole lot of guys around him that could possibly take his job. There's a few reasons why Jamin Davis is still on the roster and we didn't decide to move on from him. And one of those reasons is the fact that he's 6'3". And Dan Quinn loves tall linebackers. And you know, Bobby Wagner, for example, is not 6'3". He's 6 feet. But he's one of those guys you can make an exception for. But everybody else on the linebacker position is 6'3". And that's one reason why I feel like they still haven't moved on from him. And then the fact that they have never coached him before. So Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr. probably feel as though they can help him reach his ceiling. They feel like they still have some things they can do with him. And of course, Jamin Davis could be good, but it all depends on what system you're in. Seeing as though he's been in Jack Del Rio's system for the last 3 years, and that could be some of the reason why he hasn't really shown his talents. And that can be some of the reason why we don't really look to him to be our savior in the linebacker position. It all depends on where the player ends up in the NFL, because sometimes you end up in a place where they see that you play a certain way, but they want you to play a different way. And that is one of the things that happened to Jeremy Chin. And, you know, his last few years at the Panthers was a little bit different versus his first year. And that may be another reason why Dan Quinn still wants to keep Jamin Davis. He probably sees potential in Jamin Davis. Last year, we mostly played two middle linebackers, and then we had a drop-down safety, and that drop-down safety was Cameron Curl. But this year, it seems like it's going to be three linebackers on the field most of the time. So I can see him being that third linebacker. I have a little bit more trust in him being out there with three linebackers. He won't have to worry about dropping back as much as he used to, but I think it's going to be much more comfortable for him. And I think Dan Quinn knows how to use Jamin Davis, and I think he's going to be more successful in this defense than he was in the past one. So I think that's another reason why he's still here. I don't see us trading him this year. So I feel like he's going to play this year out, and we're going to see what we do with him. We're going to probably end up giving him away or just letting him test out free agency. But when I think about the Falcons, when I think about the Seahawks, and I think about what Dan Quinn has done there, and while he was there, how many linebackers they kept on the roster at one time. Most of the time, it was 7. And right now, we have 7 linebackers. So I feel as though his position is good right now. And I think he doesn't have to worry about it. But if he wants to continue to grow and stay with the Commanders, he's going to have to do more. And he's going to have to really go up this year. So let me know how y'all feel about the situation. Do you feel like his job is in jeopardy? Do you feel like we're going to plan on trading him this year? You know, share the video. See who else feels the same way you feel or different. Definitely like the video so you get some more content coming your way. And subscribe to the channel, man. We almost to 1,000 subscribers, and I really need y'all help. And I thank you for, listening this long. And I'm out.